career. He doesn't realize it. He just realized it now. And that's his UAAP career.
All the effort he poured out today. Not as effective as games 1 and 2, but he gave it his all.
Lawrence Johnson, regardless of the outcome of this game, a stupendous job. An incredible job.
Nothing to be ashamed of for UE at all for this whole year.
But with 4 minutes and 17 seconds left, they have to start getting stops, and that will not help.
He has just owned the paint today. 20 big point lead now by Ateneo. As Rabal Hussaini did not make a living from the perimeter today, but he's shown that he can still dominate the inside.
UE now forcing three-point shots in this game. Paul Lee off to the right. Ends with a left-handed shot. They need more of that and more stops. Backcourt points, Ateneo with 30, UE with 18.
That's a big difference today. Huge difference today.
It is Salamat against Acuña. He's trying to milk as much time from that clock. 7 on the 24. Buenafit. Baclao able to put it in.
Get that basket, put it back up to 20-point lead, and they hit that with only 2 seconds left in their shot clock, so doing a great job of milking the clock as much as they can.
And UE is staring at the barrel right now. 69-49, the biggest lead of the ball game. The Araneta Coliseum with 3 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Paul Lee able to get it off the glass to cut the lead down to 18. It is 69-51. 2 minutes and 49 remaining. Jai Reyes really been spectacular in the second half.
He's been huge today, not just the points. I mean, he's found his range. He has 3 three-pointers today, but he's really controlled the tempo for Ateneo and kept it under control. Look at the big block from Ryan Buenafit.
Another emphatic block and another big guy running on the other end. Let's see what the call is. It will remain with Ateneo. Ryan Buenafit. He also from San Sebastian. Well, that time he couldn't stop the Paul Lee incursion. Alaksan power fast. Body paint kahit saan nagkatala mga Alaksan FR. .15 on the shot clock. Salamat pulls up. UE Red Warriors 2 minutes and 15 seconds away as Elmer Espiritu misses this one to take free throws courtesy of the foul from last year's finals MVP.
You know, another stat that Ateneo's owned today, as you see this big block by Ryan Buenafit, learning a thing or two from Nonoy Baclao.
Nowhere to go. It's caught in our Smart Instant Replay. Smart, we're helping sports.
Another stat that Ateneo's owned UE today, they've turned the tables around in the turnover category. In game numbers 1 and 2. Even in their games that they won and they lost in 1 and 2, UE has been good at taking care of the ball, and they forced Ateneo to more turnovers. Today, it's been the opposite thing, and that has been a big factor also for Ateneo, especially if UE's been trying to get back in the game. They just haven't been able to force those turnovers.
69-52 is the score. The Game 1 winner has won the series 3 out of 7 times since the Final Four format was instituted. Last 2 minutes brought to you by PS Bank. Simple lang maasahan. The last 2 minutes of season 72 of the UAAP. The gunslinger from Ateneo, Jai Reyes, misses that one. He finally missed something here in the second half. Val Acuña from the corner rattles out. Will this be another chapter in the storied heartbreaks, in this list of stories of heartbreaks for the UE Red Warriors?
Although I don't think it'll rank as high up there as the years that they were really favored to win it all.
Yes.
I mean, there were a couple of years that they won in the preseason tournaments. There was 1 year they swept it all the way and lost 2 games against LaSalle in the finals. They were not pegged as favorites this year, but they sure as, you know, proved their worth of being a finalist so far this year.
We'll get back to that point in a bit. Timeout with Samsung. Imagination lives. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum with a minute and 24 remaining here. Paul Lee will take 2 free throws. You know, going back, DJ, to that point that you were making, you know, it's a list that's still a list. It's part of the list of heartbreaks as Eric Salamat now leaves this game. 5 fouls. Better showing for him in terms of his all-around game. As he hugs his teammates.
7 points.
He's hugging the 2 players who are graduating. And that's, of course, Raba and Zai. And you just go back to that point about heartbreaks. You're saying this is not as big, obviously, because they weren't expected to be here. And Ateneo was favored all the way. I'm sure in their hearts, they knew they could win the finals, so in their hearts, it's still heartbreaking.
They believed they could beat Ateneo, and they saw that even in the close loss in game number 1, where they hung in all the way. And that's what carried their confidence in game number 2 for the blowout win.
And to add to that, just to an interesting stat here, an interesting factoid. Since the year 2002, the team that won the title has beat UE either in Final Four competition or in the finals. So the teams that have been champions since 2002 have beaten UE in the finals the last Final Four
seasons.
Well, remember, Coach Lawrence,
some sort of a charm.
Now remember, Coach Lawrence Shongson, one of his motivations for this year to bring that title to UE, other than that whole drought thing, is the fact that he said he wanted, in his words, maiba naman.
Yep.
Maiba naman. Dahil na-dominate na ng Ateneo, kasal FEU, nakasingit ang UST in 2006. He wanted one for himself. This crowd of almost 19,000 ready to explode, or at least the side of blue ready to explode in a minute and 7 seconds remaining, as the writing is already on the walls, so to speak, and we are 67 seconds away from back-to-back championships for Ateneo, and for the UE Red Warriors, they will have to wait again another year, add on to that 24 years.
But nothing to be ashamed of for them. They should keep their heads up high, as they made a great run this year. You know, odds were against them in the Final Four alone, having to beat FEU twice in a row. And by the way, they did it. Although, of course,
spectacular fashion.
Of course, people will argue it was an FEU without their leader, Andy Mark Maroca, but then again, the way they did it and to do it back-to-back is still not easy.
Oh, yeah.
By whatever you say.
PJ, if you were a coach, would you pull out Paul Lee, Elmer Espiritu, Padre Llagas, or maybe not Paul Lee, but the graduating students?
Probably, yeah, to give them their, the applause from their fans.
Rafi Reyes was not a factor. Game 3 for the UE Red Warriors. Nothing to be ashamed of. It was an incredible run to the finals. Bucking every single odd, exceeding every single expectation, except for themselves. I'm sure they, again, expected to be here in the finals. 8-game winning streak. And they dealt Ateneo a loss here in the finals, game number 2, an emphatic one at that, which set up the sudden death match. But really the factor here, as Paul Lee knocks out the three, I believe, and we'll go back to our pregame, is that experience factor and the composure of Ateneo, the discipline that comes from the experience.
It's very key today. They did the little things that they had to do. They did the little things that they had to execute, played much better defense, played much better in terms of the hustle from the guards, and that all was stemming from the heart, the desire, and that composure, which comes with experience of winning a championship before.
Tears are going to flow now from the UE Red Warriors. And this venue has seen a lot of that. A lot of heartbreaks, a lot of victories, a lot of euphoric celebrations, a lot of sadness too. It's just the way sports is, really. Unfortunately, there has to be a loser, but these two teams really gutting it out. Season 72 of the UAAP. Coach Lawrence Shongson already coming across and shaking hands with Coach Raymond Black. Great gesture.
Even if his boys are still fouling.
He will not be a part of that circle, winning titles in their maiden year. Coach Pido Horencio, Coach Franz Pumarin, Coach Bert Flores, Coach Joel Banal. But Coach Lawrence Chongson really did an incredible job, impeccable job for UE with that free-flowing offense.
Almost defying all basketball logic. People were wondering, does defense still win championships? No, he came so close to proving free-flowing, free offense, free system really does so much, does wonders, but they entertained so many, and they shocked so many in the UAB this year.
Jai Reyes, Rafa Al-Husseini now standing right in front of us. As they graduate with a title, it's all over here at the Araneta Coliseum. 71-58 is the final score, and Coach Norman Black celebrating his second championship ring here in the UAAP. And the celebration begins. The confetti drops here at the Araneta Coliseum. On this Thursday thriller, Coach Norman Black, Coach Norman Black's motivation, TJ, here this year to win was to give those graduating players a title. He never mentioned himself. He never said stuff about himself to get the second championship. He never said that.
The only time I heard him mention himself and relate to his experience is that he said he's won back-to-back championships before in the PBA, and he knows how difficult it is to do that. He knows how difficult it is to maintain that high level of focus and a high level of motivation and hunger to get that back-to-back. Because you can imagine that along the way you may stumble in your effort to go back-to-back, and you can just relax and say, it's okay, we won one last year, let somebody else win. But to push them all the way is phenomenal for a coach.
To win one is already incredible, but to defend one is an even more amazing feat. Albert Jaworski now will make his way out of the Araneta Coliseum. UE loses here, 71-58. We'll take a break. We'll be back here with the celebrations from the Big Dome. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum, the winners of the championship of the season 72 of the UAAP, the Ateneo Blue Eagles, defend their title. They go back-to-back. A feat that they accomplished back in 1988, and they do it again. In the meantime, congratulations to them for winning the UAP. Red Ribbon gives the perfect partner to celebrate the victory with the new Red Ribbon White Forest. Whatever the celebration, it's more beautiful with a red ribbon. Rafa Al-Husseini graduating with another title, 2 under his belt for the Blue Eagles. As we show you our fit and right burning move, our turning point of the game, a most refreshing way to burn. It is Jai Reyes burning it up. The gunslinger really heating up in the second half and putting this game away. In the meantime, we'll have more post-game awards and interviews with the winning team to wrap up season 72 of the UAAP in a bit. We're back here at the Araneta Coliseum. Celebration continues for the Ateneo Blue Eagles. 71-58 is the winning score for the back-to-back champions, the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Right in the thick of things, TJ Manotoc with Jai Reyes and Eric Salamat. Go ahead, TJ.
All right, thanks, Boom. I'm joined right now by a guy who is probably the most proud Atenean to say back-to-back. Deserves another back-to-back for the Reyes family. First of all, Jai, I can't imagine what this feels like for you and your family. What do you want to say, first of all, to the fans of Ateneo and to your family, who I'm sure was under a lot of pressure this year for wanting to get this?
Well, yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the back-to-back and the family thing because of my Uncle June, who won back-to-back titles also in 87, 88. But first of all, to the Ateneo crowd, let me hear you for one last time! I just want to thank everyone, the Ateneo community, during the downs. They were still there to support us. I just love all of you who are wearing blue right now. So thank you very much. This championship, this back-to-back is for all of you guys.
All right, let's get into the game a little bit, Jai. Coming in the first half, you weren't as hot shooting, but you became the leader on the floor. You were dishing out assists, and you took that role upon yourself. Was that something that Coach Norman told you, that to wait for the offense to come to you and set the tone offensively first?
Well, yeah, I think Coach Norman already has a headache telling me that since the start of the season to take care of my teammates first. And for one last time, he asked me to do it, and I just wanted to win today. So whatever it took to win the championship, I'm just so glad to have done it.
But that shotgun was in action again in the third quarter. 3 big triples in that breakaway third quarter. What was that like? What was the emotions going through you at that moment when you're really pulling away?
Well, I just got into the game, into the zone. Well, Coach Norman just gives me all this confidence, and as well as the coaching staff and all of my teammates. They just egg me to go on, keep on shooting, and the time was right, and the shotgun came.
Congratulations again. Fairy tale ending for Jai Reyes in his UAP career. Once again, Jai Reyes, graduating senior for Ateneo. Now we're joined by Eric Salamat. You know, Eric, I know you know this. Everybody was wondering where you've been in games 1 and 2. I can't imagine the pressure on you, but what was it like to wake up today? You had some big points, you had some big moments defensively. What was going through you today?
Well, first of all, gusto ko mag-thank you sa tatlong seniors namin kasi ino-offer talaga namin itong game na to para kay Raba, Nonoy, tsaka si Jai. Para sa akin, yung game 3 talaga, ayoko lang magkaroon ng nightmare. Kasi yun, gusto ko talaga ibigay yung game sa kanila.
Was it added pressure going into the finals? You had a great season. You averaged almost 12 points a game, almost 3 steals a game. But medyo, it took a while for you to warm up in the finals. What was it like bringing it up to that level and being one of the leaders this year?
Well, mahirap talaga explain yung pakiramdam pag finals Pero siguro talaga kailangan lang magtrabaho sa practice.
Well, you're still going to be around next year. What will it take for Ateneo to get 3 in a row?
Siguro keep working hard, tsaka keep believing. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Congratulations once again. Eric Salamat of Ateneo. We'll have more interviews from some key players. And of course, Coach Norman back right here in the UAP in the last game, game number 3, as Ateneo wins it big against UE. Stick around here on Studio 23.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Araneta Coliseum. First of all, for those watching us on Studio 23 and all over the world through the Filipino channel, we'd like to say thank you very much for watching us all throughout season 72. And second of all, before we proceed with the awarding ceremonies, let's just give credit where credit is due. 2 teams that took different paths to get to the finals. We all know what UE went through to get to the finals. We all know what Ateneo went through to get to the finals. Let's all give them a big round of applause, both Ateneo and UE. Thank you very much for putting up an incredible, exciting series for season 72 of the UAAP. In the meantime, we would like to acknowledge the board of members who are here with us at the end of season 72 of this UAAP. We'd like to acknowledge Mr. Robert Pagia, also Mr. Richard Palu, Miss Carmelita Mateo, Dean Leilani Gonzalo, Mr. Edmundo Baculi, Father Ermito Desagon, Mr. Emmanuel Fernandez, Mr. Anton Montinola, Miss Jocelyn De Leon, and Mrs. Felicitas Francisco. The members of the board, thank you very much again for an incredible season 72. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to award our second runner-up. And Mr. Robert Pagia, Mr. Richard Palu, and Miss Carmelita Mateo will award the second runner-up trophy to the hosts of season 72 of the UAAP. Let's all give it up for the Far Eastern University Tamaraos. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Pipo Nondu and Bert Flores here to receive the award for FEU. Thank you for an incredible job of hosting season 72 of the UAAP. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, helping us award the first runner-up, Dean Leilani Gonzalo, Mr. Edmundo Baculi, and Father Ermito Desagon. Mrs. Felicitas Francisco and Miss Jocelyn De Leon. Ladies and gentlemen, the first runner-up trophy, a gallant stand. Let's call back the UE Red Warriors. The University of the East will receive a trophy and medallions. Mr. Bong Tan coming out to receive the trophy. Congratulations, sir. A great, great series and a great, great team. Congratulations again to UE. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to call on Mr. Anton Montinola, Miss Carmelita Mateo, Mr. Robert Pagia, Mr. Emmanuel Fernandez, Mr. Ricky Palou, and also Miss Gina Lopez to join us for the awarding of the champion. Ladies and gentlemen, they ended the elimination as the #1 seed. In 2003, they had a chance to repeat. That didn't happen, but in 2009, they duplicate the feat they accomplished back in 1988. The 2009 UAAP Season 72 champions, the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles. Congratulations again, Ateneo. All right, celebration and the awarding is not over yet. Let's position ourselves here first. All right, while the celebration continues here, we'd like to call on Mr. Anton Montinola, a UAAP president, and also Mr. Manuel Fernandez. Mr. Emmanuel Fernandez will join us and will help us award Mr. Ricky Palou also. All right, kids, let's just settle down just for 15 more seconds. 15 seconds. Sir? All right. Let's settle down here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Anton Montinola is here. Mr. Ricky Palou and Mr. Emmanuel Fernandez is here to award the UAAP Finals MVP. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the UAAP Finals MVP. Better than 22 points in 3 games. Better than 11 rebounds. Last year's MVP, Mr. Rabah Al-Husseini. Congratulations. All right. Also, we'd like to call on Mr. Jude Montinola, Vice President, Marketing and Communications Group of PS Bank, to award a gift check worth 30,000 pesos to our UAAP Season 72 Finals MVP, Mr. Jude Rabah. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd also like to call on Mr. Louis Gutierrez, Managing Director of Silverworks, to give out the championship rings to the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Mr. Louis Gutierrez here, championship rings. This is what it's going to look like. We'd like to call on Coach Norman Black also. Coach Norman, if you can receive the championship ring here. Everybody's gonna get one. This is what it's going to look like. Mr. Louis, this is Coach Norman. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the celebration will continue here at the Araneta Coliseum. We'll come back also on Studio 23 after a short break. Stay with us, please.
That's the final score, 71-58 here in Game 3 of the UAAP Season 72 Finals as Ateneo is crowned back-to-back champions. I'm joined now at center court with the winning coach, Coach Norman Black, and of course, the MVP of the finals, Rabah Al-Husseini. We'll talk to Coach Norman first. Coach, I remember talking to you at the start of the season at the press conference at the UAAP, and you were talking about how difficult it would be for you, how challenging it would be for you to continue to motivate these boys to go back-to-back.
Well, TJ, I really felt at the end of last year that we would have a good team this year. And considering that we had the majority of the players coming back, it was just a matter of them staying focused and really honing in on what we had to do to win the championship. Of course, that's not always that easy. I mean, we've had struggles within games. We lost to UP in the middle of the season. We came back and had a very disappointing loss in Game 2. But the really positive about this team is the fact that they handled adversity well. Within games, within the season, they handled it well, and they showed the ability to bounce back.
What was it like motivating them after game number 2? It was a 20-point loss. It could have been a psychological factor, but it didn't seem like it at all today, and they came out with a lot more energy. What was it that you did in a couple of days of practice to turn things around?
Well, they say that experience is the best teacher, and we went through this in 2006, and there are some of us still here who experienced the loss to UST in 2006. So we just explained to those players who weren't here that it's something that you never want to feel again. And we all became very determined that even if we lost by 1 point or 20 points, it was a loss. And all we had to do was come back and win today to win the championship. We did not want to throw away our season. So I think tonight, we came out with more energy and we were more focused on what we had to do.
Were there special words given to the seniors today? They played huge today. Raba played huge. Jai played huge. Was there anything special? Did you pull them aside and give them a little bit of a talk, considering it's their last game, no matter what happens?
Well, I've been talking to them non-stop the entire season, but I think Father Nimike, myself, we basically dedicated this game to the seniors. We know how hard they've worked over the last 5 years. I know sometimes they get a little bit sick of listening to my voice, but for the most part, they've been following me, and we really just wanted to dedicate the game to them.
I know this question is now lingering in the minds of the Ateneans, and you know how everybody always gets hungry for next year. What's it going to be like for next year? For sure, you're not going to aim for nothing less but a three-peat. What do you see in Ateneo coming in season 73?
Well, actually, last year I actually said that I thought this team would be better than the team last year, and they have proven that they are just as good at least. But next year is a little bit of a question mark. I'm losing Rabah Husseini, I'm losing Noy Bakla, I'm losing Jai Reyes. I won't be making any predictions right now. We'll just try to develop our younger players during the course of the off-season. We'll play in a lot of tournaments to give them some playing time and experience, and we'll see what happens next year.
Enjoy this one. Congratulations once again, Coach Norman Black, back-to-back champion coach for Ateneo, and we're joined now by the MVP of the finals, last year's MVP and this year's finals MVP, Rabah Al Husseini, who's hanging on to a gigantic check.